Hello, my name is MegaNova, and I think we should have a little talk about episode 8 of Zombieland Saga. I really wish I had actually started doing anime reaction videos at this point, because yeah, there's quite a bit to talk about with this one. I don't know how long this video will be. Probably not as long as I'm making it sound like it will be, but it's not as much the episode itself, more of the reaction to the episode. So, I had fallen a bit behind on this show. This usually happens about halfway through an anime season. I start falling off on watching pretty much everything because I start getting distracted by other stuff. But I was working my way up to getting caught up with this series. And I'd heard when this episode came out, I saw there was some things on Facebook where people were like, "Oh, there's been Crunchyroll is at it again. They fucked up with the with the subtitles, and they're making it look like a character is transgendered, even though they actually are not." Blah blah blah. Oops. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think about that, because that proved to be bullshit. Not the thing about the character being transsexual, but the thing about the Crunchyroll subtitles being wrong. Now, I don't know what the subtitles on Crunchyroll are specifically. I stopped using Crunchyroll a while ago because of unrelated issues, but even like, the episode itself makes it very clear that Lily was born as a boy named Maso. Specifically Go Maso. And her dad, Go Takeo. Also Takeo, one of the best boys in anime ever from Ore Monogatari. And I really want there to be a season 2 at some point, because that's my favorite romance anime of all time. Get on it, Madhouse. Okay. But it's not as much the episode itself. It's more the reaction that some people are having to the episode. So I'm just going to be reading off some comments under the on the website that I'm actually watching it on. I'm not going to be putting I'm not going to be screening this because my own name is on here, and although it wouldn't be too hard to find my own name, I don't want to make it too easy either. Okay, so, first comment. I'm actually pretty okay with this comment. Like, fucking stop and ignore the trans shit, for real. It doesn't even fucking matter. The comment section is filled with this complaint now, and don't get me wrong, I'm homo-fucking-phobic, but that's just so much more important than that the feels her dad is amazing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the homophobic thing, but even if this person, who's a self-proclaimed homophobe, can admit that it doesn't matter and you should just focus on the actual content of the episode, come on. Yeah, yeah, I'm not buying the trans part. First off, she's too young for that. And secondly, Lily looks exactly like a lolly in every single aspect. Saying I'm a boy, though, is about as believable as an anime toddler saying she's actually a fully grown woman. Now, let's, Lily Horikawa, was it? Saga. Lily Hoshikawa. Pretty close. Pretty close. So, the wiki. Does it say anywhere how old she's actually supposed to be? Yeah, she's supposed to be 12. Here it says she was born in October 6th, 1999, and she died on November 30th, 2011. So funnily enough, she actually died later than Sakura. But yeah. So she's supposed to be 12? Which, yeah, sure. And I mean, as far as I know, quite a few transgender people are aware that they are trans before that age. I know, sure, lots of people only really figure it out later on in life, but I think there's more focus on the people, or on older people, in that sense, because, well, you can't really get an operation before then, or they're just told that, oh, it's just because you just happen to be more girlish than the other boys, or whatever excuse they want to come up with. So honestly, I'd say it's believable enough. Also, can I just say, I thought probably the best part, at least in terms of being funny, the best part about this episode was when they came into the producer, and were like, "Hey, did you know something?" "Yeah, I knew all along. I didn't care." And then he was berating them for I don't know, for not believing or whatever it was, but at least he was like very aggressive about them like not being tolerant about this, which I didn't expect of him, but good on him for that. I gotta admit, I respect him a bit more after that. Let's see. And to their credit, there are good comments down here that are just about what actually happened in the episode. But, yeah, there are some here. Yeah, probably the biggest problem with some of these is the people referring to her as a trap. Yep, now, there is a very big difference between a cross-dresser and a transgendered person. Okay? A trap is just a cross-dresser. Like, they're very much aware that they're male, and they are fine with that. They just like to be dressed in women's clothing and act sort of feminine. But a trap is not a trans person. It's just a cross-dresser. Just how, like, a drag queen isn't trans. They just dress up and do and act. That's it. That's not comparable to actually feeling like you are the wrong sex and want it to be changed. There's a very big difference between the two. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are like, looks exactly like a little girl, talks exactly like a little girl, acts exactly like a little girl, wears clothes like a little girl. Teehee, it is a boy though. LMAO, goddammit, anime, not this trope again. But it's not the same trope. It's not done in the same way. And yeah, here's a good guy. To be fair, she's 12 and explicitly prepubescent, or at least at the very starting stages of puberty. Before puberty does its thing, there really isn't all that much difference between boys and girls in bone structure, fat distribution, muscle density, nor voice pitch, which is true. And I guess you could also assume that because Lily feels like a girl, she would maybe make an effort to consciously have her voice be more high pitched to kind of, counteract that she might have a slightly deeper voice. Which would make sense why her voice specifically is the most high pitch. Also, it fits more with what she looks like. You have a valid and now the OP comes back here. You have a valid argument here, but this trope is still applied to characters that are not prepubescent too. Yes, but in most of those cases, they are what I said earlier. They're traps. They're cross-dressers. They are not actually transsexual or transgendered, whatever you want to call it. I got corrected at some point because I called it a transsexual, and that's apparently wrong now, because everything that used to be the correct way of saying it will at some point end up being the wrong way of saying it. Just like you can't call someone a black person anymore, now they're a person of color. Which, honestly, to me, almost sounds more racist. But that's a talk for another time. Now we are talking about transphobic people, not racist people. That might be a video for another day. Oh, God, why? This one was a bit of a bit of fresh air. PSA: being obnoxious and hostile towards others is bad, even if you're doing it in the name of tolerance. Don't be that guy. You're just making things worse. And I know it might be kind of hypocritical of me to agree with this, making this video specifically. But it was just getting to me, man. Like, let's see. Yeah, somebody. It's so dusty in my room. My eyes keep watering. I will admit, this episode actually did manage to get me teary-eyed. I will freely admit that. It was really good when you saw the bit about with her dad right after she had died and all that. It was pretty touching, not gonna lie. And here's somebody just Lily ain't trans, but she obviously is. So, and here's another thing. Lily is a guy? No, Lily is trans. Lily might have been born a boy, but doesn't identify as such anymore. So just drop that. Aren't they just making fun of Lily for having a real name like Masao-kun that's so masculine? And don't some girls girl? Maybe want to check that, but don't some girls get some facial hair also? Or am I just in denial that Lily is a lolly shota trap? And here we have another good guy. Not a trap, trans. And it's just like, no, she's not a guy. She was born a boy, but that's it. And here is just a really stupid one. Where was it implied or outright told that Lily is a trans and not a trap? Because I went through the episode twice and still didn't catch the moment. Other than on the wiki. So, well, first of all, Lily dies. So, what happened was, she had been, I don't remember if it was a photo shoot, or if it was, like, a a TV program or whatever, but it was something about her leg hair being visible. And I mean, that could just be, oh, it's just regular puberty, because everybody gets hair on their legs. That's just a natural thing. But she specifically dies because she discovers that there's a hair about this long right down on the bottom of her cheek here. Now I remember back in the day when I first got my first bit of hair like that. I was a pretty late bloomer on that. I didn't really start getting any kind of a beard until I was like 17 or 18. And it's still not really great now, but one can hope that it'll develop further. It has started going up a bit further, but it's not very dense yet. But I live in hope. Maybe when I'm 35, I'll be able to have a proper woodsman beard. I can dream. But if that wasn't enough for you, like the thing is, it is never outright stated that she's trans. Like, they never outright say she's trans, she used to be a boy. It's all implied in what's happening, which I actually personally like. I think that's a better way to go about it, to not be too on the nose with it. But the thing is, like, so we find this out because, okay, I'm just gonna do a quick summation of what's going on here. So they have a show, and they're doing one of their meet and greets with fans, and there's this one big, massive guy who sees her on the TV and reacts to that, and ends up going to one of their shows and does the meet and greet and goes to her specifically. And they'd already said earlier that there's no touching, but he grabs her shoulders as he sees her, and then Saki kicks him in the face and he passes out. But we then find out, Lily then admits that evening that, oh yeah, that was actually my real dad. And she's like really torn up about all this, and it's all just not very great. So she ends up having a talk with Sakura, and this is where she tells the backstory, about how she was like, about how her dad really liked watching TV. And how she was like, well, if TV is his favorite thing, I want to make him happy by being on TV myself. And she goes into this talent contest and ends up getting picked up by an agency and starts being in movies and all kinds of stuff. But she ends up dying from, as I said, she ends up dying from shock because of that one hair. So, and at some points, her dad was referring to her as Maso. Where Sakura was like, I'm kind of confused. Who's this Maso guy you were talking about? Well, and then Lily is like, well, Maso used to be my name. And as far as I know, Maso is a strictly boy's name in Japanese. Actually, we can maybe check that. Maso name. Yeah. Maso. Here's all the ways it can be written. Is a masculine Japanese given name. Notable people with the name include, and then there's a list of people. And then it says specifically gender male. Like, it's not just that it's a name that sounds slightly masculine and could be both for men and women. No, this is specifically a male name. Like, it, as far as I can see, it would be the equivalent of having named her Lily when they still only knew that she was a boy. So yeah, no. That alone should be enough of a giveaway. But if it's not, what happens, like the reaction from Sakura, like she's in shock. She's sort of like, I had no idea. And she then goes to the other girls to say, so, oh, by the way, Lily-chan used to be Masao Kun. The other thing is, Kun is a prefix that you would use, is an honorific you would usually mostly see used about boys. Like, I think it can be used about girls, but I don't remember seeing any girls being referred to as kun. Actually, kun honorific. Japanese honorifics. Okay, kun. Kun is generally used by people of senior status, addressing or referring to those of junior status. Okay. But anyone addressing, or it can be used when referring to men in general, male children, or male teenagers, or among male friends. So, as you can see here, it is very specifically men. Like, yes, it can be used about someone who's younger than you, but in most cases, it will be used about a guy. So, again, if that doesn't do it for you, they then go to the producer and it's like, oh, did you know about this? And he's like, yeah, I was well aware. But who cares? What does it matter? That's not exactly what he said, but he might as well have said it like that, because he was really just, but why? Like, who cares? And I don't remember if it was before or after, but Saki also talks about Lily having some junk, specifically. And I think you can infer what kind of junk she's referring to. I'm pretty sure she even said something about junk in the pants. So yeah. And then there's this one. So okay, then there's this other person who addressed the last thing here about the person who had watched the episode twice and not seen it. And then there's this person who got it pretty right. Traps crossdressers don't normally wear the clothes of the opposite sex all the time. They do it for fun and for show. The biggest tell, though, is the fact that she literally died from the realization that she was going through puberty and was getting hair in all the places that biological males do. So she couldn't easily pass as girl anymore. If she was just a cross-dresser, this wouldn't be a problem since she could just shave it off for the infrequent times that she needed to pass as a girl. And then this person answered, so no actual direct confession that she underwent the op in the episode. And op, I assume they mean operation. Where I answered to this, you don't have to have been operated in order to be trans. The only prerequisite of being trans is being born as one sex, but feeling like the other. That is the only prerequisite to being trans. That you're born one sex, but you feel like the other. That's it. Physically you're one sex, but mentally you're the other. That's it. So... yeah, and here's another one. God fucking damn it, can't the Japs hold off on making the best characters into traps lately? I mean, I guess it's kind of realistic, and this one is, like, really terrible. I mean, I guess it's kind of realistic in the sense that guys often have more interesting, novel personalities, so making a fun guy and giving him a girl's looks to appeal to all kinds of audiences makes sense. But if we're going for reality, then the possibility of such a person actually existing is just far too low anyway. So seriously, put a stop to it, anime. Come on now. Like, this is basically a person being like, oh yeah, trans people, they don't exist. There's barely any of them. I mean, yes, of course, trans people are a very small minority in society, but they do exist. So this is just idiotic. Also, this is... and now I end up sounding like a fucking social justice warrior. But honestly, this comment comes off as a bit misogynistic. Being like, oh yeah, men usually have more interesting personalities. Oh yeah, all women are boring, right? There's no fun or interesting women out in the world. Only men can be interesting, right? Fuck off! The fuck is that bullshit? Like, I know I'm sounding like a fucking SAW white knight right now, but I gotta call out bullshit when I see it, and this is fucking bullshit! Ugh. But yeah, damn. Yeah, and then there's one here who's just in denial. These people on here acting like girls don't grow leg hair or facial hair at all. They just keep that shit trimmed. Yeah, but no, there's way too many other references, or indications, I should probably say, in the episode. That makes it pretty definitive that no, that's just not how it is. Okay. Well, I guess that's about all I have to say on this subject. Yeah, I'm sorry it got this negative. I will try to have a more happy-go-lucky, funny video in the pipeline at some point, sometime these days. Also, I'm very much considering starting to do anime reaction videos, just because I do watch quite a bit of anime and I'm getting more into it now. So I mean, why not try to make some content out of it as well, assuming anyone actually do want to watch it. And assuming that I won't get fucked too hard by the copyrights, but we will see. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and click that notification button, because you know that's how YouTube makes you actually subscribe. Fucking YouTube, I don't know what the hell they're doing anymore, but thank you for watching if you came all this way, and have a good one.